Silva, sitting in for Save a Child, Preserve Humanity Television. It's a television arm of Save the Education and Health of the Child Foundation, which I anchor. I'm sitting in for that NGO. Once again, I welcome you wherever part of the world you are joining me this moment. Is it in Australia? Is it in Africa? Or you are in Europe? Or in Asia? Or any part of Africa that you find yourself? I know this is holiday period. You are spending some quality good time with your family. Like the Americans will say at this season that you are having fun. Make sure you keep your head above water. Whatever that means to you, I don't know. But all they are telling you are do everything with moderation. You know, make sure you have fun. Don't allow the fun have you, but you have fun. You see, you can have fun, and you can also allow fun to have you. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't drink while driving, and don't drive while drinking. You know, we find ourselves. No, yes. I say whatever part of the world that you are joining me right now, you are welcome. And I'm telling you, I promise you, I can see you joining me right now. Please stay tuned. I see you joining me. I'm telling you, every quality time you are going to spend with me, you will have value for the time that you're spending with me. Because by the time I'm finished here, you will have been all that I have to say here. I was talking about the holidays. Well, I'm just saying, in this holiday period, make sure you have fun. You have good time with your family. That is the whole essence of coming together. Following me, I've been talking about a home is different from a house. You see, a home is where love is nurtured. A home is where, families come together, to share memories of yesteryears, of yesterday. So coming together at the holiday period, it puts so much in your mind. Those old good days and old bad days. Well, you can't leave any part of your life out. There's part of your life there are memories that are good old days. There are memories also that are bad days and bad days. You see, all these have a way of molding you and shaping you to become the person that we see today. So what I'm trying to say, the good and the bad, the good and the ugly, all has a way of shaping you to become that man or that woman that we are seeing right now. So please, make good use of this time that God has given you. What I mean this good time, it's God that gave. Every time that we have, it's God that has given. It's a grace that you have. Some people don't have the opportunity to have holidays with their families. At this season that we are holidaying, some people are in the hospital. Some people are in the hospital. Some people did their Christmas in the hospital. So that's why today, some people say, what I want to talk about today is how did you spend your holidays? So, our season that we find ourselves holiday, is holidaying a part of the human existence? It's a question I'm asking right now. Everybody will answer me, yes, it's part of it. They say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. When Jack is all he does is play, work, and no play, he makes him a dullard. Did you see that? There's a balance. You can't be working off on 365 days of the year and no holidaying. I want to dwell on that aspect a little bit. That's why it is said that, you see, leisure or play is part of curriculum for children. A child is, I was about talking about the Child Right Acts. Yes, one of the Child Right Acts says that, pleasure or leisure time, a child's, curriculum of growing up. Thank you for joining me. I can see you. So the child must have a moment of play. Play is also a part of education. Play is also a part of education. You see, it's only in this part of Africa, because of poverty's sake, that we don't structure our life to have holidays. You can't be working throughout the whole year, and you don't take a time to go and have holiday. Have some fun with your family. There's a time you set aside, just to be with your family. People abroad, because of the level of financial upliftment in those areas, developed world, they take time. There's a period of the year that they go on holiday. I think it's summer holidays. There's a time you take out to relax. There's a time you take to relax. There's a time you take to relax. So holidaying is part of our life. Should be a part of our life. Because there's a time you need to relax the nerves. You need to relax your mind. So that by the time you relax yourself, by the time you are going back to work again, you are well relaxed. You are ready, to work again. So there's a time to play, there's a time to work. This is the time of holidays. This season that we find to work, this is the time of holidays. This season that we find ourselves is a season of holidays. If I may ask you, how did you spend your holidays? Christmas holidays. How do you spend it? Well, us by this season of Christmas. I can see you joining me. Thank you for coming in. This season has come and passed us again. So we look forward to another 300 to hit another Christmas event again. Isn't it? Yes. Like what I was saying, 365 days. This has rolled by. Yesterday was Boxing Day. I don't know how you spend your own Boxing Day. I will make the children to understand. Boxing Day is not a literal day when you box somebody. It's a day you give gifts. Your gift is wrapped in a box where the receiver does not know what is inside. That's why they call it boxes. It's boxes, Boxing Day. So you can't stop it. It's a season. So how did you spend your Christmas? Let me take you memory lane. So how did you spend your Christmas? Let me take you memory lane. Let me use myself as an example. Those days when we are younger, a smaller boy, I knew Christmas is something that we spend going out. As a little boy, we go visit families and friends. We go out, use the whole day, go from one house to the other. You know what I'm trying to say? When we go there, they'll offer you food, they offer you drink, you eat, fill your stomach. You eat from more than 20 houses. You must go to homes of family and friends, and they will give you money. They will give you goodies that you come back home. But I don't know how the children of today spend their Christmas. Like I can see Abuja where I find myself, the whole place is dry. I hardly see children that are dressed for Christmas. This is the first time I'm acknowledging. I hardly see children that are dressed going out for Christmas. Those that we see. So it's a season. I don't know how you spend your own Christmas. Thank you for joining me. Don't mind how you spend your own Christmas. Thank you for joining me. Don't mind the network has been so bad. I've been trying to manage it. So those days we go visit friends and families and friends, and they give us money. We make so much money out of that this season of Christmas by going to visit families and friends. It's a time also, whereby our momsy and popsy, we normally give food to neighbors. The season is a season of love. People cook food and give to neighbors. Like my wife here, I see, we normally do that. But these days, I don't see people do it again. Maybe in the part of the world where I find myself, because of the level of poverty in the country, in Nigeria right now, those days when we were young, we only eat, those days when I was growing up as a little boy, we only eat rice on Sundays. I must bring this to come in Jesus' name. So I was talking about the way Christmas is spent. So, like I was saying, our momsy and our momsy will always cook that pot of stew on a Saturday evening. And on that Saturday evening, you see different neighbors. You'll be hearing aroma of stew from different neighborhood. Oh, when you are passing, say this stew, I don't eat the food already. Without even seeing the pot of the soup, but the aroma alone has filled you. You feel like salivating. But we don't have it these days again. You don't sleep. You don't hear smell of that sweet aroma stew from your mother. You know what I'm saying? If you're my age, I remember those days. Well, I'm not eating the food, but we're celebrating. Mom, see, I started stew for the week for Sunday rice. We eat rice once a day. That's the way I grew up. Until it became a staple. Right now. So I was saying, the sweet smell aroma of the stew of our mothers. When you are passing, even without eating the food, you are already filled. We used to hear scented aroma of sweet stew, but these days we don't hear it again. What's the problem? Poverty has become the order of the day. For you to cook a good, delicious meal pot of stew these days, you need something like 30, 40,000. I'm not joking. That's where I find myself, the part of the world. That's to tell you the rate of poverty. You need a delicious pot of soup, complete cooked food. At this season, you will not put together nothing less than a chicken right now is nothing less than 20,000. A good chicken that we used to buy for 2,000 those days now is, my brother, is 20,000, 25. So by the time you put all the ingredients together and everything to get this sweet smelling aroma, I'm telling you that my mom used to cook those days. You are bringing out 35 to 40,000. How much is your feeding for the month? So you see, poverty has taken over. So, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. It's a time you take out of your busy schedule, to relax. 20. We continue our outing. We go visit friends. So you see, the holiday does not end on Christmas Day, but on Boxing Day, you also go out. So I'm talking about my days. I'm talking about my days. Christmas starts from the month of October. You are preparing. Then when you enter the Christmas Day, you spend it. Then you people go out for almost a week. You are doing the Christmas. You are still visiting. People are coming to the home. There's so much to eat. There's so much to drink everywhere. So it's just the way we see holidays those days while I'm growing up. I don't know, how did you spend your own holiday? What did you do on Christmas Day? Well, on Christmas, some people go to church. You went to church. Yes, some people go to fellowship. It's good to go to the presence of the Lord to give God thanks for the gift of Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him shall not perish but shall have eternal life. So we thank God for those of us that went to church. To show our gratitude to God. To thank God. For the coming of Jesus. That was on Wednesday. So on Thursday was Boxing Day. A lot of people also went out. Today is 27th. I'm talking about holidaying. So what are you planning to do at this season? What are you planning to do today? Remember, the holiday is still in force, but some people went to work, but some people have traveled, but it's a season of holidaying. People are still going out. Peradventure, you are in Abuja, you want to catch some fun. There are places of interest that you can go to. Places like Mona Lisa Park, where you can take your children to. You have a lot of... So, like I was saying, for those of us that are in Abuja here, spending the holiday, if you are just coming into Abuja for the first time, and you're looking for where to catch fun with your children, you can go to event places where your family can have fun. You can go to Millennium Park. I believe the Millennium Park is opened. It's an open ground. Family, you will catch fun. The whole people are out there having fun. You can go to places like event. People are out there having fun. You can go to places like event centers like Mona Lisa Park. It's one beautiful place. I've been there. All the places I'm telling you, I've been there. They're home. It's a home away from home. You catch fun, take the whole of your family there. You have fun. The essence of the family set up will catch up with you. Because, you live the essence of the four walls of your house, where your family stays, and you take them, say, home away from home. That's what they call it. So you take a step ahead to go to a place of a home away from home. To relax with your family. You can go to places like Wonderland, or they call it Magic World. Where the children also is a place you see the wonders of technology. The children will be catching fun. You go there to spend time. It's a season of, koinonia with your family. Having a koinonia, with your family. Getting close to one another, catching fun. That is a time whereby both families are coming together, knitting together. So many places you can go. But so away from home, away from home, a home away from home. You're catching fun in the holidays. So I just give you some tips on where you can catch fun in Abuja. I don't know where part of the world you find yourself right now. I'm telling you, don't lose ground on these holidays. I don't know how you spend it. So at this season, you together. There is a way of also looking ahead of the next year. The way when you're looking ahead of the next year, the way when you sleep in the night, what do you ruminate? You are looking at the year ahead. This holiday period is a people are already navigating towards. So don't use this holiday period to just catch the phone alone. You see, I'm just crisscrossing how you can spend your holidays. I mean, what you can do. I mean, time you can take time. I mean, to put some things together. So don't just use it to only catch phone alone. But it's a season and a time for you to project towards 2025. Remember, 2025 is just a few days ahead of you. So at this holiday period, it's a time for you to navigate. Time for you to navigate. When I mean navigate, you begin to look at how will 2025 be. So you started planning from now. If you don't plan now, you will plan to fail tomorrow. So don't use the holiday period just to do a holiday alone, but use it to also navigate. When I mean navigate, use it to look at 2025. 2025 is just projection ahead of you. It's projecting ahead of you, and there's so much to achieve. You see, when we're looking at that, the next year, and I don't want to jump, have a carryover. There will be some people that will say, okay, throughout this year, I have not achieved anything. I'm telling you, you have 4 days to go. I don't want you to, let me come down to the level of those people right now. Jesus. So, like I was saying, I say, it was as you're holidaying, what should be at the back of your mind? What are the strategies are you setting for the next year? Or I just come for, I say that there are some people that have not actually achieved this year. They are saying, this year is going to pass me. No, don't feel bad. We serve a God of the 11th hour. I'm telling you, one difference of what you have not achieved in the whole 360 something years. I mean, we have 365 days. We have 4 days ago, so we have spent 361 days. Make it 365. I don't achieve anything, but you see, God, I'm talking to someone out there. So don't lose hope. I'm talking to someone out there. So don't lose hope. Don't give up on this year, 2024. Don't give up on this year, 2024. The year has not ended. I'm telling you, for some people, the year is just beginning. Something can happen today. God can decide to visit you. Today, God can decide to give you a divine visitation. If you are that kind of person, you are watching me right now, I'm telling you, place your heart there. God can decide to visit you today, and your situation will change. It was Jabez in the Bible. They say he was born in sorrow, and Jabez cried to God. Can you cry to God today? Jabez cried to God, saying, oh, no, make me God that I might be more honorable than my brethren. That was a man of destiny. Are you a man of destiny? And you are telling, you know that your life is more than this. You can't take no for an answer. Like Jabez. Jabez, they say he cried. He bent his head on the ground and cried. He said, God, I must not remain like this. My life must be better than my brethren's life. And they say the brother stood his ground. So what am I trying to say? Don't give up. I was talking about Jabez. Jabez stood his ground and said, God, I cannot die like this. I cannot die a pauper. Make me more honorable than my brethren. And God answered his prayer and changed his name. I don't know whether they call you Jabez. I don't know where your situation is. I'm telling you, this is not the time for you to give up. Suicide is cheap. I was talking before we went on break right now. I was saying that, you see, a man that wants to commit suicide must have the thought in his mind. It's a process. The thought must hit you in your mind, and it is the devil that put that thought in your mind. When that thought hits your mind, you begin to conceive it in your mind. Then what happens? Then you begin to think about it and plan, how am I going to commit suicide? That's another. So, like I was saying, suicide is not an option. Suicide is not the best idea. Suicide is not from God. Suicide is a man trying to take his life because you felt you are tired of the situation and circumstances of life. It's not the best option, my brother. Because why? At 4 days to go for this year, there's so much that God can do. The Bible says in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20, it says God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above that which we think or imagine. It's not a time for you to give up. God is still able to do within these 4 days, above that which you think or imagine, according to you, still holding on to this God. Say, God, I will never leave you like Jabez. Jabez said, I will hold you until my change comes. And Jabez held God at the place of prayer, and God changed his situation. So I'm talking to you out there. It's not a time. This holiday period is not a time for you. To do that foolish thing. You're not cheap. You're not called into a life of giving up. God has not called you to that level of giving up. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly up to think or imagine according to the power that working in you. The power is that you tell yourself, I will never give up. No matter the situation, if you are there listening to me, don't give up. 4 days to go. God is able to unleash that miracle to you. I don't know what you are trusting God for. God is able to do more than you think or imagine. But according to you holding on to what God is going to do, what God is going to unleash in your life at this season. So please, if you are with me there, it has been so bad in my area here. Probably because I think it's because of the holidays. So I don't know how your holidays are going on. We are still live. Make sure you give me a thumb up, because I'm still hanging with one person. If it's one person I'm chatting with, I'm telling you I'm fulfilled. There's a fulfillment, because I want to make sure I throw some nuggets at you that will give you strength. So like I was saying, this is not the season to give up. 4 days to go. There's a miracle that God is able to do if you still hold on to God. So holiday period. In 4 days time right now, the year is going to end. There are some people that will be going for crossover. Let me talk a little bit about that. Thank you for joining me. You are still standing on with me. The network has not been bad, not been good, but we are still hanging on. I just want to talk on the holiday period. I want to see how you are spending it. Some of us are looking at crossing over. You want to go to church on the last day of the year. We have been there. I'm not debunking it. You going there, but you see, your life should not be. Some people go to church once in a year. Some people go to church once in a year. You have done all the bad things, and you feel I want to make sure that my presence counts before God. I want to enter the next year in the presence of God. Oh, it's a good thing. I've seen people through that process give their life to Christ. I've seen people through that. So like I was saying, I said some of us are like I was saying, I said some of us are to the crossover night. Yes, crossover night. There's nothing bad about it. But what we're debunking, that your life should not be that you go to. There are some people that go to church once in a year. They want to make sure that they they want to be in the presence of God. There are some people that throughout the devil has told you a lie that you will die before next year. I debunk that fear in the name of Jesus. So some people, they feel, let me go and hide presence of the Lord. Or some people, they just feel, I don't go to church. I only go once in a year. No, your life should not be a once in a year thing. Do you feed once in a year? You eat. If you don't eat natural food, you will die. So you see, you don't go to the presence of God once in a year. See, what gives you life is what sustains you. I encourage you to always be in the presence of the Lord. David said, I was glad when he said, let's go to the house of the Lord. Always be in the presence of the Lord is a great thing for a believer. Don't make your life that life of going to church once in a year. You are a half-baked believer. You're not a full-baked believer. You don't go to the presence of God. You won't get the fullness of God. Each time you come to the presence of the God, your life is being made anew and fresh again. So I want to debunk, that spirit of going, before God once in a year. Let's talk about the crossover. Yeah, it's good to go for crossover. Some people go there, but when you go there, go with an understanding. Please go with an understanding. I talk to young people. Don't go in that crossover. It's in that crossover God will release words. People want fresh words, fresh manners from God that they will use to run for the next year. Yes, you want to hear God is good. Some people cannot hear God for themselves. But the Bible says God is speaking expressly. But there's still, in a mix that God is speaking expressly, there's still a famine of his hearing. Some people are not hearing God. So they go for crossover so that God can speak over their life. Or the man of God that is your pastor, somebody that is a pastor over your life, can speak the word over your life for the next year. There's nothing bad about that. You see Christians, men are in sizes. Life is in phases, and men are in sizes. So we are not in the same level. People are in different level and maturity in Christianity. So if you are still in that level, so like I was saying, I don't debunk you going. So like I was saying, I don't debunk you going for crossover. But what I want to say is that for our young people out there, if you are going for crossover, go with an understanding mind. If you are going for crossover, go with an understanding mind. You see, people treat God as if God is their bellboy. What am I trying to say? When you go to a restaurant, the waiter is your bellboy. You can go in there and sit down, even without you beckoning on the waiter. There's somebody that comes to ask you, sir, what do I give you? That's person and order. He takes your order and give you and serve you whatever you want, because he's looking for your money. So don't treat God as if God is your bellboy. You can just go to church. You can go in the assemblies of the people and just come out anytime you like. If you are going for all night, make sure you are going there to attend the whole full service. Go there with an understanding mind that God is going to speak to you. And what you need is that go on time and don't quit the service when the service has not ended. They say the end of a matter is sweeter. I'm going somewhere by saying this. I've seen people in my days growing up as a young boy, they came for a crossover service, and the service has not ended. I'm telling you a life testimony. A life testimony. Service has not ended, and they packed their Bibles and everything. They were leaving at the middle of the service. Because why? They have intention of traveling the next day. The 1st of January, they intend to travel. And the pastor conducting that service told them, please don't go anywhere. Don't go. The pastor warned several times, don't go anywhere. They refused. They were still, because they felt they have already booked to travel the next day. And the pastor insisted, are you going to go to your debts? But I was talking about somebody that, they were in the middle of a heated service, a crossover night service that is going on, waiting to hit. You see, once it hit 12 o'clock, you see people shout. You see, once it hit 12 o'clock, you see people shout. After a minute after 12, they've finished. And the man of God tells them, please don't go this midnight. The service has not finished. God is about to download. They have an appointment to catch to travel the next day, 1st of January. And as they were walking out, the pastor kept insisting, don't go out, wait for God to him. They insist, and the pastor now made a statement. He said, are you going to walk into your debts? They kept insisting. And as they walked away, actually they started their journey that 1st day of January. They had an accident. Everybody in that vehicle died. What am I trying to? I'm trying to sign a warning here. If you are going for the crossover, make sure that you are preparing to meet with God. God is not your bellboy. Wait for God to finish, talking over your life before you leave the service. Don't walk at the middle of the service and walk out of the service. That moment is a very crucial moment in the life of any human being. Don't walk out of God. I gave you a life testimony. I'm not telling you a story. I was there when this happened. Many years ago when I was a young boy. This family walked out, and that was how they walked into their death. You don't know what that man of God is seeing. So when you are going for service, go with an understanding mind that you are going to meet with God. Don't make God your bellboy. Let God finish downloading on you. Listen to what all God will say. Go with the mindset that I'm going to be there at the end of this beginning of the service and to the end. Don't treat God like a bellboy. Don't walk out of God and walk into death in 2025. Make sure God determines your future in the 2025. It's a bright year coming. There's so much. Nobody knows it. You see, God has gone ahead of us. All we know is this time that we have. We don't know what 2025 holds for us. Go before God on a crossover night. You are trying to say, God, you are my anchor. You are my strength. Without you, I'm going nowhere. You are my direction. You are my light. So stay with God. Make sure that God gives you direction of where you are going. I'm talking to someone out there that's about to go for crossover. Go with an understanding mind. Go to meet with, have a discourse with God as you go for that crossover. Go with the mindset and let God. Many people give their life to Christ, and I pray that as you go there, God will arrest you. You become a full-born believer. Of the kingdom. God is looking for men. God will sustain us in this season in the name of Jesus. So all the while I've been talking about holidaying. How are you spending your holiday? What part of the country, what part of the world are you right now as I'm talking, as you are listening to me? Where part of the world are you right now? Please make sure that you are, you are catching some fun. And remember that God is counting on you in this season. This is a season for you to also sit down to see how you can better your life for the next year. 2024 is going, and 2025 is ahead of you coming. You have a whole year, 365 days about to unfold again before you. How are you entering it? The way you are entering it matters. So you begin to put yourselves together. I'm telling you all these tips that you can put together as you holiday. And as you holiday also is a season, for you to change some plans in your life. Some things that have not worked, you drop them. It's a season for you to draw. Oh yes, oh yes. I was just talking about. People making resolutions at you see, nowadays we try to make resolutions, and it's man-made. Is that you are saying, I want to be better next year. Okay, next year I will not smoke. You see, it's such a resolution, or next year I will not womanize. It's not something that you can do by your might. It's not something that is done mechanically. Before you started smoking, you started smoking in a process. You didn't start it in one day. It's a process. You started it small by small, and before you know it, you became addicted. You couldn't, outlive it anymore. So for you to come out from it, it's going to take a process also. So it's not something that you take a resolution, next year I won't smoke. My brother, it doesn't happen like that. You see yourself making one resolution, and as we enter the year, before you know, you have broken it. When we are small boys, we think like that. Resolution is a mind thing. It's not a spiritual thing. Because the problem you got into, you did not get there by proxy. You did not get there in one day. You got there by process, and you kept falling in, until you could not help yourself anymore. So I'm advising us, please, don't base your mind. I can thank you for joining us. Don't base your mind in making resolutions for the next year. My brother, it doesn't work. Resolution is not godly. I'm telling you, we live by grace, not by our strength. When you make these resolutions, you are trying to see you are going to live by your might. I'm not going to smoke next year. No, it's not by might. Until God helps you, until a grace comes and help you, lift you away from that weakness that you find. I was saying, resolution. Don't attempt to make resolution for 2025. You can't keep it. Resolution is not by might, it's not by strength. It is God that gives you the strength to live above any weakness that you see. It's not of works that least any man should boast. Once again, I want to thank you for hanging on with me. The network has been so bad. I've been managing it. I just want to have a chat with you that have been trying to hold on with me. I appreciate you for holding on, but the network. So your holiday season is a time for you putting a whole of yourself together. I've said so many things at the same time, but you must have picked one or two, even despite and in spite the network that is floating. I've said so much things, and I pray that God will help you to make it through 2024 that's about to end, and make it through 2025 that's just unfolding. Every year that you see comes with so much harvest and so much things to get from it. Let your head be with God at this season. Make sure you seek the face of God as we enter into the new year, as you go through the end of the year. God will allow us to end the year well, and we'll end it in peace and in prosperity. As we look ahead to the next year will unfold with so much goodness, joy, and gladness that God will bring our way. In the name of one thing, I want to let you know, please make sure you spend quality time with your family. That's the whole essence of these holidays. Spend quality time with your family, because you are out of work. You are out of work for this season. So spend quality time. Let your family feel you. Let them have a koinonia with them. Have a rapport with them. Have a coming together. That's the whole essence why the holiday is there. Holidaying is necessary for every humanity. It's a time of coming together. A time of koinonia. A time of fellowship. So make sure that fellowship continues as long as it will last, as God will take us through the next season by His grace and by His power. Thank you for being there, and thank you for standing in Jesus'